Hello everybody. Today we're going to think and talk about friendships, and in particular what it's been like over the last few months. Now lots of you will really have missed seeing your friends, particularly in person, because that's not something that we've been able to do whilst being in lockdown. Some of you probably haven't seen or spoken to your friends in a very long time. Some of you might have been lucky to have been able to talk to some of your friends over the phone, using your grown-up's phone, or maybe even been able to do a video call with them. So you have seen them, but you've not seen them in person. You've only seen them on a screen. And that's been quite difficult to deal with. But thankfully, it's all changing. And the good news is that last week, the government announced that groups of up to 6 people can now meet outside. And that means that you, with your grown-ups, will be able to meet one of your friends or some of your friends with their grown-ups, as long as it's no more than 6 people and that you can meet outside. So you could arrange to go for a picnic in the park. You could arrange to go to one of your friends' houses but be in the garden, or they could come to your house but you would have to be in the garden. And the other thing that we have to remember is that whilst we can still meet up with our friends, we've still got to keep that safe distance. It's really important that you don't get up close with other people. So I think it's probably going to be quite tricky, because you're going to be very, very excited to see your friends that you've not seen in a very long time. And the first thing you're going to want to do is run up and give them a big, big hug and say, I've really missed you. It's really good to see you. And that's something we're going to have to try really hard not to do. So I wonder, could we have a little think about some of the things that we could do to say and show our friends that we're so pleased to see them? What could we do? We could give them a really big wave. We could give them a virtual high five. We could just tell them. We could say, use our words and say, I've really, really missed you, but I'm so pleased to see you. It's lovely to see you. You might want to draw them a little picture. Perhaps give them a picture. You could put it on the floor, you see, and then they could pick it up. So there's lots of ways that you can show your friends that you've missed them and that you're really, really pleased to see them without having to get too close. And I'm sure you're all going to have a lovely time meeting up with your friends soon and coming up with very, very clever ways of playing, but without being too close to each other. I know you're very, very good at doing things like that. So there's exciting times ahead. I've also started to think about what makes me happy with my friends. And I wonder if you might like to have a think about that too. Take a look at my poster. I made a poster of all of the things that I like to do with my friends that make me happy. Maybe you'd like to do the same too. Some of these things I can't do yet, but some of them I can do, because I can speak to my friends over the phone and we can have a video chat so I can get to see them that way. And while I'm doing that, we can have a cup of tea and some cake if we like to in our own homes, or even, because I'm a grown-up, I can have a glass of wine, and it's like us being out having a nice time in the evenings and going to a bar. I'm really looking forward to going shopping and playing tennis with my friends too. These are all the things that I really like to do and I miss, but I know it won't be long before I'm going to be able to do lots of them again. Do you know what these are? They're paper doll chains. And now that we've had time to think about the friends that we miss seeing and the things that we really like to do with them, I thought it might be a nice activity to have a go at making a paper doll friends chain. Would you like me to show you how to make one? Okay, well keep watching and you'll find out. You'll need some equipment to make paper doll chains. Some paper cut into strips, and if you can cut them as long as you can, you'll get a much longer chain of friends. Some scissors, a pencil and some pens or pencils to decorate and make your paper dolls look like your friends. Okay, well, let's get making some paper doll chains. The first thing you need to do is take one of your strips of card and fold it concertina style. So that means folding it backwards and forwards on itself. So if I show you, here's one fold, and then I turn it over and make the same size fold again. Turn it back over and do exactly the same. Each time I'm folding it so it's the same size. And keep doing that all the way to the end of your strip of paper. So when you've finished, you end up with something that looks like that. And you see it goes up, up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's how your friends are going to hold hands. So the next step is to draw your friends on it. So you're going to need your pencil, and you need to look very carefully where these folds are. So you want the arms of your friends to come and finish on a fold, so that when we cut it out, they're holding hands. And what you have to do is draw only half a person. So it might be a little bit tricky, but have a go. You can always try and copy mine. I'm going to do one that's very, very simple to start off with. So I'm just going to give him a half of a round head, and then I'm going to come out for the arm, and I'm taking it all the way to the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to put the under of the arm, and again that's going to run all the way off to the edge of the paper. And then I'm going to do some legs and body, so that's going to go all the way down there. And then I come over here and make the rest of the leg. So you end up with half a person. Now you might want to try something a little bit more complicated. And here's one that's a little bit more complicated. Looks more like a girl in a dress. Maybe you might like to do one of each, because I'm sure you've got boyfriends and girlfriends too that you might like to make paper dolls of. But the design that you choose for your person is up to you. Okay, so now for the fun bit. We have to cut one out. Now you might want a grown-up to help, because depending on the thickness of the paper, it could be a bit tricky, and you have to cut out your person. Be careful not to go right to the edge, because then otherwise it won't work. And one last bit there. I'm going to turn it around that way and do it. Right, here we go, time for the big reveal. Has it worked? Here are my paper chain people, and we're now ready to decorate them. Have a think about which friends you'd like to include on your paper dolls chain, friendship chain, and think about what colour hair they've got, maybe what colour eyes they've got, and you could make your people to look like your friends. I'll show you what I've done. Here's my set of paper doll friendship chain. Can you see they all look a little bit different? Now, this one's my friend Nikki. This one's my friend Kerry. This one is Louise. And lastly, this one's Claire. And they're all my special friends that I like to keep in touch with as much as I can. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make paper doll chains, and I can't wait to see who's on your friendship chain. One last thing, this is a lovely story by Julia Donaldson called The Paper Dolls. Some of you might already have it at home, but if you haven't and you'd like to hear the story, I'm sure you could be able to find it by searching on the internet. I hope you enjoy it. Take care, everybody.